those who come back and watch this interview tonight, I want to make sure that they definitely they can actually connect the dots between Shelon Douglas and the Becoming Love Project, the Heart Awards. So that's going to be like the main theme of tonight's conversation. But I want to ask you and start by asking you if you could share one pivotal moment in your life when you first felt the stirrings of what becoming love might mean to you personally.
So becoming love, at first I didn't really quite understand what that meant. But being more involved and a part of this platform, I think it's beautiful to know that ultimately becoming love is just, from what I gather from the concept, from what I understand, is basically like the moment in life to where you actually understood what love means to you. And out of through some type of circumstance or maybe some type of situation or a pivotal moment to where, like even this evening, how we had our little, you know what I mean? Our little issue.
We had to
But
pivot in the
you
pivotal
know what I
moment.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but pretty much ultimately now that I really like appreciate this platform even more for understanding that becoming love is just simply out of like the transformation, like what situation, place, or thing, you know what I mean? What was it that actually was that ideal moment that you did a pivot in your life to where you came to an understanding, like for me, naturally, to come to an understanding of like who I am, what I represent, and the more that I love me, then the more that I can pour that love, genuine love, without any conditions, and give it back to whoever it's supposed to, whoever's cup I'm supposed to pour into.
I love
So,
that. I love that you shared that because there is a calm and a peace that you had during our technical difficulty storm before we started here.
mhm,
And I felt like one of the disciples on the boat may have been Peter himself, right? Who
mhm.
Christ was like, calm down. I know it's a storm. And he was actually sleeping. Like, can y'all go back to sleep, please? Like, no, but oh, ye of little faith, calm down. I'm going to speak to the storm. Y'all can do it too. Tell it to calm down, and we're going to make it through it. And we did.
Right,
And you,
right.
you were my anchor, Shalon,
Oh, thank
just
you.
keeping that fast. So I feel like, that love that you have, even for, whether or not you're talking to someone for the very first time in life, you just had an encounter with them,
Hmm.
or, it's someone you've known, for a lifetime. But it's even the smile and the love I can see that radiates through your cheekbones, through
Oh,
the
thank
highlights of all the features that God has packaged you in.
you.
That I can just tell that the love in you is sound, that it comes from within, that you sit in it, that you operate from it, that you're not moved from that. So
Thank you.
I want to ask you a question. And I want to ask you this, please feel free to ask me questions as well, because I realize as we're introducing and letting the world know who Shalon Douglas is, I didn't introduce myself. I'm your hostess with the mostest, coming to you live from Atlanta. Hey,
Hey.
I'm a black buckhead babe, and I'm actually from Plano, Texas. I've only been in Atlanta for 2 years, but I by way of my journey and bringing me to this part of the country, I have had the good pleasure and fortune and honor of meeting Tamala Baldwin. Um,
Yes.
and I'm just excited to just be at her side, and as we, talk to and interview all of her guests who are going to be recipients of the awards, who are going to be, there at the events on the 18th and 19th here in Atlanta, Georgia. So,
And let
Shalon,
me say, let me say this really quickly.
yes,
I am so appreciative of Tamala, my dear sweet sister, beautiful sister. I am just the gratitude that I have for her for, inviting me to be a part of this platform, and just to even how she's even handling this, everything that she's doing. I just want to give her her flowers and give her 10 stars and let her know that we love you, Tamala. And this is going to be a dynamic and a dynamite. It's just going to be, everything about it is just going to be beautiful because it's operating from a place of love to begin with. So I just wanted to make sure I said those few things about my sister because I
yes,
think she's doing a marvelous job. Yes.
this is her love child. And so, with that love child, you don't call anybody's baby ugly. So, and this baby is not ugly, but it
You
truly is
see her,
love.
like, you see Tamala, she said she needs a drink.
Oh,
We're gonna
and
have
he's
plenty
still
of that.
drinking the drink. So my drink actually, it's not spiked. It's just hot lemon water. So
Right.
as soon as we are done with this podcast, I will be moving on to the libations. So because it's going to be in the ethos and the metaverse forever, I'm going to save the alcohol for when we're done.
Right.
So, but no judgment to those who are having a drink watching because you're not on camera. We can't see you. But we're gonna get back into this topic of becoming love because it's I was listening to Marvin Gaye before I was before we met
Ooh.
tonight and getting dressed and stuff like that. And I'm learning what it means to become love. I'm in the phase of my life where I'm learning to love who I am, being black, what it means to even be black, the package I came in, all
Yeah.
the features that God gave me. I'm learning to love those things right now.
Yeah.
And, in my conscious mind, I feel like I'm late to the party in that because of my age or whatever. However, I know that everyone arrives where they're supposed to, like right on time, kind of what we were talking
Right.
about earlier. So, because like I'm not a homeowner yet. I'm not, I don't have my beach properties yet. You know what I'm saying? Like all these things that I
Yes,
feel
you
like I'm
do.
behind
They just
on.
haven't been manifested.
Talk about it, sis. Tell me more about that. You haven't been manifested. Teach. I'm listening. All ears.
Yes. Yeah. So one of the things, going through a journey, the I'll say journey, but there's journeys, right? So
Mhm.
it's almost kind of like when you're going through a neighborhood and you have different blocks that you go down, and you know what I mean, until you get to the next city over or whatnot. But
Mhm.
you one of the things I'm learning is to watch my vocabulary and my love language. And what I mean by that is that, I'm learning to live in the present because I feel like time is just an illusion. It's just slowing things down to what's already happened, what's going to happen, and what's currently happening. So when say that, I don't have a house, or I don't have this, or I don't do that, or whatever, it's like, yes, you do. You haven't met up to your future self yet, but you already have it. And then when you operate in that energy, then it manifests itself quicker or sooner. And
Mhm.
then that's also too a part of manifestation. So, and then, also too, watching words like trying, or, I do
Shit.
not use that word try at all,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
when you say you're trying, then it's almost like an indication of you don't know if it's going to happen or not. So I don't use words. I watch my words to where if it invokes any type of like faithless type of act to it, or because that's going to manifest too. Manifestation can work in both ways. You can manifest
Yeah.
something to or to not happen based off of how you think, your thought process. So
So
yeah.
that's it's interesting because it's always like you're in faith for something or you're in faith for the thing that you fear. Because even if you fear the opposite of faith something,
Mhm.
you're still putting that energy toward that, so you're gonna get that thing which you fear. It sounds like is what I'm hearing. So the
Well,
law the law works both ways. Like you're gonna bring about something either way. It sounds like.
definitely, but faith and fear can't live in the same room.
Mm,
Cannot.
okay. Okay.
If you look at them as entities, faith is an entity and fear is an entity. So, and they operate in the opposite direction thereof. So, it's an impossibility to, fear or have faith in something, but then you still got that fear, because fear is associated with doubt.
Mhm.
So, and then when you are living in that without even being conscious of that, then guess what? You're manifesting that too.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of like becoming consciousness, right? Thought process, emotional intelligence, and then your belief system, definitely for sure.
So I
So,
wanted to ask on emotional intelligence because I don't want to assume that anybody watching has the same definition of what emotional intelligence is. I'd love
mhm.
to have you elaborate on emotional intelligence. Also, thought process. Are you taking an inventory actively of your thoughts throughout the day? When are you doing that? When you're conscious, when you're actually awake versus
Mhm.
maybe do you do it during meditation to reprogram some of these negative thoughts that are not bringing you that love
So
you want?
That's a good question, and I'm glad you asked that because I mean that's the whole theme of this event that Tamla is putting on is becoming love. If you look at becoming love as a noun versus an adjective, then it changes the thought process because becoming love should be an entity instead of becoming love as in that's something you possess. If you are love, right?
Mm-hmm.
So becoming the person who you are yet to meet up with, which I just got through talking about, right? No,
Right.
meeting up to your future self.
Yeah.
So when you become conscious of who you are, and if love is an entity, then that automatically is the built-in attribute of your emotional consciousness
Mm.
that ties into also manifestation. I can't get off of that. It's just the way that it is.
Yeah, let's get
So
on this. We're listening and taking notes, literally, in
thanks,
the time.
Tamla.
So,
But
um,
yeah, you becoming love and going back to, what experiences that you have that helps develop you, takes you through this metamorphosis, right? Like you are going to go through some things in life, some challenges, and you should, you could tell people you shouldn't want to go through that, but nobody wants to go through any type of pain, but it's like no pain, no gain.
right,
And then those experiences that you have on that journey is actually leading you down the path that you're supposed to be on. And when you're not on the right path, you'll have some instances that'll take place to get you back on path. So during that journey, especially if you are developing, having like the conscious development, because some people can be on their journeys in their lives and never come into consciousness, unfortunately.
mm,
So becoming conscious of who you are is definitely directed to the metamorphosis of the butterfly, like I like to say.
I love it. I love it. Stay on the train. Keep going. We're listening.
Yeah, so if you could just actually just change the thought process, and when I say that, that's not an easy thing to do either. It
Not. That's what I was
takes,
asking about. Like, do you take time to meditate? When do you take inventory of your thoughts? Like, how do you change those thoughts? So I was going to see if you could touch on that as well as you are answering these questions.
yeah, it's definitely, I put it to you this way, I have a book coming out that's titled Take These L's and Boss Up. And the L's doesn't stand for losses. The L stands for lessons. And
Mm,
so one of the things that you can definitely be assured of is that while you're on your journey and you're going through your experiences, if you don't learn the lesson, it's just like class. You're going to have to retake that lesson or that experience. And trust me, the next time the lesson is going to be much tougher than the previous one.
mm, mm.
Trying to get you to become awakening to who you actually are and how you actually exist.
Right.
So, again, eventually you want to land in a place to where like love, especially right now, what's going on in the world, we have so many things that are taking place, so many life challenges that are happening to where love is so needed and yet it is so lost. And so again, if you can just, think about what this means, becoming love is the entity and not an adjective. When you are who you are going to exuberate that. You don't have to act, you don't have to try. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Which is,
it's
I
just an
don't like
honest
that
lie that they
word.
say. They always say try is an honest lie.
Yeah,
So you don't have to do that.
you would just be, you'll just be.
Yeah.
And those around you, they'll feel that exuberating from you as well. Like they'll be able to just know, like, man, there's something about him or her. Like, even when you walk in a room, it's like your light just shines. You don't have to, you don't have to try to be something you're not, and you won't be either because you'll be conscious of who you are in the
Right.
first place. So,
Right.
and love is just what it is. Love is not hate. Love is not fear. Love is, it's the opposite of all those things. Love is who it is. I say it, I'm talking about the entity. right? And you're just going to give, because that's just, you can't, love can't be hate, just like black can't be white. It's impossible.
Ooh, wow. You just said a whole word. So I have to snap on that. I am chewing on that as well. So let me ask, I'm curious, are these principles and just the feedback that you're giving me as we dialogue and communicate here, or were these things that were poured in to you like water into a plant by maybe parents, grandparents, whoever raised
Oh,
you?
wow. Let me just say this. Oh, I just got chills when you asked that question. First and foremost, poured in from my heavenly divine Father.
Mm,
That's first and foremost, because one of the things that is, you know, when I say this, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I'm just being very honest when I say this, is that you could be around family, you could be around friends, but that's from without, that's not from within. So the
right.
one from within is your divine, for me, my divine heavenly Father, and so, oh, and that's all I had to turn to and look to. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Not right away though. Like,
Right.
the heavenly Father knows how to get your attention better than anybody can, because you can run, you could try to run away, you could try to hide, but He is within you, because He is you, and you can't run away from that consciousness. So I have to give all credit to my heavenly Father first,
Mm,
and then to say, from within to going outside of me, then it would be my family, my immediate family members, my parents, my kids, my best friends who've been with me, been in my life since childhood, since the sandbox days. And I'm very fortunate to still have friends that are around me that I've been playing in the sand since the second grade, or high school since the ninth grade. I'm very
wow.
fortunate to still have, um, that tight knit group around me. But yeah, I wasn't trying to be lengthy, but just being very honest.
Yeah, no, please feel free to take the scenic route. We're only halfway in, so I'm on the plane, like I said, the train, and I'm just riding. I love being a passenger on this in my seat on this train on this ride. So I'm
You're
just
doing a
so
great job. Beautiful. Great
thank
job.
you, love. Thank you so much. So I love for me I it's these interviews are like getting to sit at the knees of like greats. I think about like Esther or Ruth or people they're making movies about now, right? Like
Yeah.
I want to learn from it says that we're supposed to learn from the women who have the wisdom, who have experienced things, and
Hmm.
who know who they are.
Hmm.
Teach the women who don't yet know who they
Right.
are. So we
Right.
can all get on the same page and wake up, all be in the same frequency of consciousness, being synonymous to being aware. So
Let
when I
me just,
see a
I'm
sister
so,
who looks like me and you look like and I look like you, I
yes.
let's make this equal sign hit, where love meets love,
Let me
right?
tell you something. And I'm so happy you just said that. Because going through, my personal journey, it wasn't always the easiest thing. I've been, I was once married, and had a family, with my ex-husband, and just going through journeys from, like, going through the divorce, or having a successful business. I used to run a 5 office firm doing deals all over the United States. My background, by the way, is real estate technology, and now it's
Mm,
entertainment. And
mm,
so, and that was not easy for me to go through, that journey of what I thought was so-called losses. At
mm.
the time, it was very, very difficult, and I'm leading somewhere with what I'm about to say.
Yeah, yeah.
At the time, I thought it was very difficult. I felt like I was, stabbed in the back. I was, I was broke, but I wasn't broken. And what I mean, that journey of what I thought was so-called,
It's frozen over here.
we freeze. Are we there? We
Okay,
back?
now we're here. So can you still check because your messages hit my
Okay.
screen?
Sorry about that.
Thank you.
But
No,
what I
it's
was
okay.
trying to,
It froze for a second, but it's okay.
okay. So what I was trying to say was, I was broke, but thanks to my heavenly Father, I wasn't broken. Okay.
Okay.
And going through that experience, I felt like a lot of betrayal had taken place. I felt like I didn't have, I was suicidal at one point and nobody didn't know it either. Like it was really, really dark, dark days.
Mm-hmm.
But when people don't know, like people who you meet today and they don't know your past, they don't know what you've gone through,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't really talk about it, it could be a hard thing to where somebody can have a smile on their face and you never know what they're going through.
Oh my gosh, preach
To
and talk about it, please. Like,
You
let's
know what
keep
I'm
it
saying?
all the way real tonight.
Yeah, like you never, and I'm speaking from experience to where, I would put on my makeup and I would do my hair and I would go out and I would be out and be part of the world. But I would
Yeah,
come home and I would soak my pillows until it was just like to the
yeah,
point where I could wring it out because of the tears that I was shedding because I was going through so much turmoil on the
yeah,
inside.
yeah,
And so to know what that feels like and then to be able to be where I'm at today, because I've had people say, "Oh my gosh, you're so grounded," or "You're so, I've there's so much power that comes from you." I've heard a lot of positive things, but at
yeah.
one point in my life, I was not that. And so because I was not that, and in the person and the young woman who I am today, I want to make sure that no matter what, even if you have a smile on your face, I don't want to take anybody for granted. I want to make sure that I am here according to the calling, my calling. I am here to know that you have somebody that you can lean on and talk to, and it won't go nowhere but pass here. It will stay here. And so to be able to give back to women, really, ultimately our culture, period, men and women, because men go through a lot of the same things too. They just don't, they want to be macho about it, but that's how
Right,
they kind of been raised. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So, but I just feel like mental, what am I trying to say? Like having a mental breakdown is a real thing.
Yeah,
And so if the pressure, I always, in my conversations, I always tell people right now we're going through so much pressure in our everyday lives in the way that the economy is today. And pressure is either going to make or break, because pressure is either going to bust your pipes or it's going to, turn you into that diamond.
right.
So, and most people, you know what I'm saying, are
Mhm.
the pipes are bursting. So,
Yeah,
I want to make sure that, and that's why I love this event that's coming up, is because I want to
yeah,
make sure that however way that I can help, I want to be able to do that and be that for other individuals who may feel like they don't have they don't have anybody to talk to, or they might feel like they have no one. I just know what that feels like, to feel like you don't have anybody to talk to. Who can you
yeah,
trust? Because of the betrayal and manipulations that have taken place before. Um, voice, if it, and that's another thing too, while you're going through things, it can suppress your voice. I've gone through that as well. And suppressing your voice and not being able to like speak or trust and open up, you hold all that stuff inside of you and it will break you.
mm.
You understand what I'm saying? So,
Yes, yes,
I just want to make sure that I can have um a sanctuary for
yeah,
people to be
yeah.
able to be a part of, to be able to like open up and to know that, what, there are genuine people who actually are still around that actually do care. And that's the reason why we're doing what we're doing now, right? With this event, with story, using our voices and being able to tell our stories by our experiences, because guess what? Every one of us represents one in a million. So
Mm.
you are not the only person going through what you're going through. Although when you're going through it, you feel
Mhm.
like you're the only one and you feel like you're alone in this big old world, but you're not.
Yeah. So
So
I'm curious on that note, how like, is there an avenue or a path for people to reach you and have those sorts of conversations where it won't go beyond you, right? Like, is there a platform or a path to your community where people can get into a safe space and have these, loving sorts of conversations?
definitely, that's the reason why I have just launched my platform called Screenix.
Yes, yes, I
And
will. It brings us right to that. Perfect segue. Perfect segue.
yeah, thank you.
Talk
Yes.
about it.
the whole purpose, you know, I didn't know if I was going to share this on tonight's IG or not, but I might as well. So, a few years ago, I almost passed away. I almost didn't make it in this world. And so once I got past 3 months of pure living hell, um, I realized that obviously my assignment wasn't concluded because I was
Mm-hmm.
still spared to be left on this earth. So I went within myself, inside of myself, and I just, had a conversation with my Heavenly Father, and I was just like, you obviously have me still here for a reason. So what would that reason be? Please, like it was a burning question that I went to sleep on, asking him that, and when I woke up, he revealed that. Like literally, I asked the question, I went to sleep, I woke up, and I heard his voice, and I heard him tell me what to do. And
Yeah.
so I have been building this platform called Screenings for the past 4 years, and we just launched a couple of weeks ago, almost a couple of weeks ago. And
Congratulations. That's awesome.
thank you. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited. Me and my team. I love my team. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, the people
Yeah.
who are here to support me, and believe in the mission and the platform as well. I'm just so grateful because you could feel, again, even when you're building something, um, or working towards something, or starting your own business, or whatever it is that you're doing on your journey,
Mm-hmm.
it could just feel so overwhelming.
Yes.
You
Yes,
know what
it
I
can.
mean?
It can.
Yeah, it could feel overwhelming. So I'm excited, and that's the reason why, and that no matter what, um, you have to push through it. But that's what makes you who you are as that diamond, because that pressure kept chopping away, chopping away, chopping away, chopping
Wow.
away. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? And then you
Yes.
you just get brighter and brighter
Woo.
and brighter and
Wow.
brighter. And
Yeah.
it's like when you walk into a jewelry store and see this beautiful diamond, it's like it just shines so bright where you're
Yes.
just attracted towards it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So anyhow,
Yes.
that's where we're at, and that's why I love being a part of Becoming Love, this Becoming Love platform. And oh my gosh, it's just the alignment is just so perfect timing, and just a beautiful opportunity. And I just feel like for me to even be to launch this platform and then now be a part of Becoming Love, I'm just like, oh Father, thank you, because I
Yeah.
couldn't have asked for anything better.
Yeah, he has a way of moving us all around like chess pieces on
Right.
the chessboard. So we just trust that he's
Yep.
doing his thing. Speaking of,
Yep.
if you wouldn't mind, Shalon, as we actively participate with the audience, checking the chat from your end, seeing what questions we know that have come in. I think a couple of questions want to come in. We want to make sure we get those answered
Does
tonight.
anybody have any questions? You guys talk. I wasn't even paying attention. Is there any
Um,
questions? Did you see some questions?
Yeah, so one was from one audience member, like, why did you suppress your voice at one point?
Um, I felt lonely.
Mm,
I had lost, if I be honest, I had lost confidence.
mm,
Like I said, I expressed how I was broke, but I didn't become broken. And I say broken because sometimes when things are broken, it's impossible to fix those things. But I got to a point to where I just felt like I couldn't trust anybody. I
okay.
Yeah, it was it had become I was going through a really, really, really dark moment, and it just became hard for me. Like I felt like the people closest to me um had betrayed me, and then people who I, you know, when I say this too, success comes with a target on your back as
Mm,
well.
mm,
So at one point, in my past doing so well, when you're doing good, not everybody is happy for you,
yeah,
period.
yeah,
you know and
yeah,
so you know a lot of things that I had to go through personally, it was just like, well,
right.
and I didn't understand some things at that time. You know what
That
I mean?
resonates so much. Yes, it resonates so much. Still listening, please, and keep talking. You know, they're taking the scenic route. I know we're a couple minutes out, but if for those who y'all who are still watching and engaged, you might
Mhm.
have another 10 to 15 minutes let's please kind of just stay on topic and stay in flow. But
Yeah.
you know, because we wanted to hear about also, you know, seeing you now and knowing that there could have been a time when you could not have been with us here today. If and when you're ever in a space where, you know, you were maybe in a headspace that was like, if that sandbox was named suicide, you know,
Mm-hmm.
what was that like going through that dark space that where only it's, you know, it's the darkest right before the dawn. It's the
Yeah.
darkest when that pressure is, like you said, applied so hard where those pipes are either gonna burst or it's gonna burst and transform like a butterfly into a diamond. Talk to us
Mm-hmm.
about but the darkest place of the darkest and how you got through that.
Um, oh gosh, I don't want to cry.
I'm a crier, so it's
But
okay. You do have tear ducts for a reason, just so you know. God put tear ducts in our faces
oh,
for a
for
reason.
sure. For
It
sure. For sure.
means
These are tears of just grace and just, just so grateful.
yes, love it,
Um
love it, love it,
the
love it.
the main thing, and what I'm going to say is this. I wasn't afraid to die at that time. In fact, I wanted to check out because it was just such a miserable time in my life. Um and I come from, family to where I knew that if I would have been allowed to proceed, I knew that my kids were going to be taken care of. I knew that, I knew I didn't have anything to worry about them
Right.
being, you know, cared for. The main thing that kept me from taking my life after going through those thoughts for so many months was that I would always hear within inside of me, if you think and feel you're escaping something now, just take your life and see how that'll work out for you for an eternity
Mm,
times 10. So if
right.
I couldn't handle what I was going through while I was in the physical body at that
Right.
time, which was
Right.
very, very dark, it scared me shitless, excuse my French,
Yeah.
to think about I would be going through something 10 times or 100 times worse,
Yeah.
but for an eternity. And
Yes.
that's what stopped me. And then now I know that was love that saved
Mm,
me,
mm.
you know?
That's beautiful. Uh,
Yeah,
because I've been there. I can relate. I that resonates. Um, and same, like scared shitless of having that tenfold for an
yeah,
eternity. Like, no, thank
yeah,
you. I think I'll take my odds and try finishing out, you know, this life in this earth suit on this
yeah,
journey.
yeah.
And then, you know, because I love Ty Tribbett's latest version of like weeping endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. And I
Mm-hmm.
just told one of my best girlfriends who just lost her mom
I'm
this
sorry to
week
hear that.
earlier. Like I listen to that song like, you know, sometimes it, you know, there's 30 days in a month, like 15 nights in a row. I know he says don't let it last for one night, but as many nights as I keep getting a night and I keep getting a morning, I keep getting
Mm-hmm.
a chance to have a grand rising each morning and not
Mm-hmm.
mourn as if I have no hope, as if you know, we don't have a future, as if there's no light at the end of the tunnel, right? Like I get
Yeah,
through that, and I'm like, oh my God, I get another day and another day, because there was a day some, you know, time ago when, you know, I could have not had another day because I had,
right.
you know, a near death experience, car accident, you know, T-bone on
Mm.
my driver's side with no seatbelt on, flipped over in the highway,
Ooh.
landed 500 yards from where I was actually hit
Oh
and walked
wow.
away. Walked away.
Okay.
And you know,
Blessed.
so I could go on and on, right? Of like where I'm like, oh my God, like that there had to have been angels literally physically holding me down in that vehicle. That when you
Mm-hmm.
saw those pictures of how it looked when it was all said and done,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone was like, "There's how is she alive?" So, and that happened early
Love.
in my life. So,
Yeah.
I kind of always had this kind of subconscious sense that even like those aliens of dark thoughts that say like, you know, just take your life, just end it early, just like nothing's gonna work out for you. Your dreams aren't gonna come true. Not even having an understanding because it's never been taught to you
Yeah.
that, you know, that how powerful your now is and how
Yeah.
powerful the words are that you spoke about earlier, because the things that you do believe and desire and have faith for, they are in you right now. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just appreciate you actually even kind of correcting me on the spot when we got into it, because I want to be taught by, like you said, sisters and brothers who even look
Yeah,
like me, who are willing to pour into me and teach me, wait a minute, this is not who you are. Love is
yeah,
who you are, and this is what love is. This is how love thinks. This is how love talks. This is how love speaks. This is how love not just survives, but how love thrives, overcomes. This is how you become
right,
love and come into this space on October 18th and 19th and be with those who are willing to share and not be about the entity of it and not be selfish and hold it close to the vest
right,
and share with others about how the rest of us can get there. So I want
right.
to just hear a little bit more and have you elaborate as your heart leads, like what you believe that people who get into your content, who sign up for your platform, how they can what can they expect when they learn about how to lean further into
Mhm.
becoming love themselves.
So right now, for anyone who is, because I'm in the entertainment space, I've been I'm using my spirituality through my platform to be able to help other creatives because we're all creators, right?
Right.
So so right now, like I said, Screenix, we just launched our platform on the 1st of October, so that's why I'm like almost 2 weeks ago. And what we're doing for Voices for Our Culture is we're doing we're doing things a little different to being able to help other people to utilize their stories, right? And telling their stories through film and TV projects and whatnot, and even podcast shows, anything, basically all things entertainment with different types of genres, right?
Right.
That they have right available. And so we're starting off. Screenix is extremely big, by the way. It is a three-arm business model or a threefold business model. And what we're doing for right now, we are launching our first initiative, allowing creatives who have completed projects that maybe have not, say for an example, if they didn't get selected through the film circuit, like at film festivals, or haven't had any type of distribution or success there, they can submit their projects to our platform. And the whole point of it all is that we want to curate our library with other people's stories besides our own, give people, like, put the spotlight on their projects, give them an opportunity. And then again, it's called screening, so you never know who's going to be screening your project. And that's the whole purpose of that, is being able to help others through expressions, get discovered, let their voices be heard, let their stories be told and shared, and loading them up with a lot of opportunities to where it goes from just not only just telling a story, but for an example, helping be your partner in representation, helping you protect your intellectual property, helping you to turn that into a business model so that you can create multiple streamlines of income, helping you
Woo!
greenlight that next project for production, distribution,
Yes.
and just it's a lot. And not only that, we're not the ones who are basically saying what you can and cannot do. We're letting our audience vote for what they would like to see to be greenlit. So it's a creator centric platform, and it's just loaded with a lot of opportunities and perks and benefits for our culture. So we say that Screenix is not a platform, it is a movement where culture creates, industry listens, and equity looks like us.
Wow.
So
Wow. Can you repeat that? Where culture creates and what was repeat that,
it's
please?
Screenings is not a platform, it's a movement where culture creates, the industry listens, and equity looks like us.
Wow. I had to hear that again for those in the back. So and that just flows so smoothly. So I'm just so grateful because as an artist, as a creative, and having even invested and paid for projects that have failed in the past, or have
Mhm,
just the things that are very amateur, and having
mhm,
coming into a space that with people who can help give you guidance and path along the way. And
mhm.
then for other artists, like you said, who just can have a almost like it's like a second chance, right? Those who have the framework,
Mhm.
and you can have an opportunity after all. Like there is
Yeah,
an avenue to creating a table if they won't give
right.
you a seat at the one that you've been trying to sit at.
Exactly.
It sounds
Exactly.
like so.
Yep, exactly. You said it perfect. And that's the it's like it's purpose driven. right? And so a lot of the work that went into this is divinely orchestrated. So it is not about, I don't care about quantity like that. I care about the quality, and I just care about, and I care about those who have such a big passion for this. So that's
Yes.
love in itself. You know what I mean? So it is for those who are coming in and being a part of our platform, they don't have to worry about people taking our ideas. They don't have to worry about, we don't want ownership either. Like you
Mm.
still are 100% ownership of your IP. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it is truly about being able to like help people to like lift them up, give them a hand up and not a hand out, because we got hobbyists too that try to come in the room and you know what I mean. It's just keeping it real. But so
Right.
we wanted to create a safe space for our community, and at the same time, there's so many creatives out here that are just it's like, how come nobody knows about you, or how come nobody knows about your project, or how come. So we want to be that bridge between the indie and you know Hollywood.
Yes, a bridge, an olive branch that it gives that
Right.
keep on
Exactly.
giving. So
Exactly.
I'm watching the time here. We're gonna actually wrap up here in 5 minutes. So as we bring
Okay.
things to a close, I
Mhm.
want to ask what image, vision, or sensory metaphor comes to mind when you imagine someone becoming love as a final love, final word, and as you close out, what do you see, hear, or feel when you hear me ask you that question?
First thing that came to mind is a butterfly.
I love it. That's so beautiful.
A butterfly. And I see them all the time. And every time I see them,
Sweet.
I just say, thank you, Heavenly Father. I see the white butterflies. I see the yellow butterflies. I see the brown butterflies. I've even seen a blue butterfly. And I was like, oh my gosh. And the reason why is because I know when I see a butterfly, I know that it was once a caterpillar,
Oh my
and it
God.
had to
Yeah.
go through its journey and its phases and its stages to becoming that beautiful butterfly that just, and the way that a butterfly flies is just so elegant. Like it's
It's
just,
so elegant.
it's, yeah, it's like that butterfly
Yeah.
has no worry in the world. It's just free, and it's just
I
flying, and
know.
it just is, right? And it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I love that. I actually, if you, those of us, those of y'all who go to my website, you see, if people who go to my About Me page and they want to know who is Brownkatt, it's on the very bottom. It says, I am the butterfly girl. And so I grew up in a home. My mother collected butterflies, and they were on
Oh my
frames in the walls.
gosh.
And at my house, I actually had them on walls in my house that you cannot see. So
Yeah.
I
See.
and I love caterpillars, and also too, like I'm always amazed when I see butterflies that don't get like killed in traffic. Like some of them will
Yeah.
fly so low, but then it's like the
Yeah.
wind carries them up, and like you said, their wings are like silk, just flowing in the air on the
Yes.
path, and it's just so incredible. I have a garden, and it attracts specifically a lot of my plants,
Yeah.
butterflies and hummingbirds. And I found, Shalon, that I cannot even
Okay.
go for my phone when I see them because they instantly fly away. So I have to always just stop when I see them
Yep.
and take them in that moment. And it's just for me.
Yes.
So, it's
Oh
not something I
wow.
can go grab my device for and post it on Snapchat. Like so I've
Mhm.
learned that. So anyway, I'm just so grateful for your time this evening. I am elated and over the moon to meet you in person on the 18th and 19th in
Likewise.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes.
For those of y'all who also need another pathway and an avenue to get your tickets, please go to Shalon's Instagram page, her website as well. But Shalon, I'm going to actually let you give both yourself and Tamla a shout out as we wrap up tonight's live before next
Yes.
weekend.
So I want to send a shout out to my girl, my sister, my beautiful boo, Tamala Baldwin. It's so funny. I met Tamala, gosh, my kids were babies and now they're adults.
You do not have adult kids. I'm looking at your face. You do not have adult kids. I don't believe it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They're adults. become one is almost
Okay.
30 years old. But
Oh my God. Oh my God. It doesn't crack. No, it doesn't crack. Say that. Okay, so
but
keep
no,
doing whatever you're doing, drinking your water, but we're listening.
um I'll tell you my secret when I get there. But no, I want to give a shout out to Tamla. Tamla, I love you. I can't wait to see you. I am so proud of you, and I'm excited to be a part of whatever it is that you're doing. Tamla is love herself as well, and gosh, she is just the same Tamla from when I met her before to just this beautiful big personality. So I just wanted to like give her her flowers. And then as far as for myself, you know, you can find me anywhere with my name, Shelon Douglas. I'm also known as CodeAzzBoss. And CodeAzzBoss stands for creating opportunities and designing experiences as a businesspreneur owning strategic systems. So it's not just a name just to be a name. It actually means something. The acronym means something. And so it's everything that I
Yes.
do, have done, and still doing, which is I'm a big believer in real estate. I've been doing real estate since 19, still real estate. I'm a broker as well. And then my background is technology. So I do know a lot about technology. I don't really like talk about that, but that's how I built Screenix. So I did develop Screenix with my team. It is a proprietary platform that you can't find anywhere else. And it was specifically built for the user experience and for the audience, the marketplace, to do that I already spoke about earlier with purpose, the purpose in mind. And then I storytell. I love storytelling now. So it has all things entertainment. So you can find me, Screenix, and all that we do and what we have to offer. Punching the name or punching Screenix, Screen IXX. And the IXX stands for multiple immersive screens. And the screenings is like you never know who's in the room. Industry executives, super producers, um, Hollywood professionals. You just like, yeah, we're bringing everything to the table. So
Nice, nice. Well, if you don't want to miss out at that table, please get your tickets, everybody, for either day or
yes,
for the weekend.
yes,
And for the Becoming Love Fest and project, check
yep,
out the Instagram page. The details are there. It's coming up really soon. So,
yep.
if those of y'all like myself who want to meet Shalon Douglas in person, she'll be there as well.
Thank
And
you.
until next time, we'll see y'all live from the red carpet on the 18th and 19th. Good
I
night.
can't wait to see. I can't wait to be there, and I can't wait to see you too.
Me
Take
too. We'll see
care.
you on the red carpet that night. Good night. Thank you so
Good
much,
night.
Sean.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.